This past Thursday, the United States Mint sold out of all 2018 and 2019 1-ounce silver eagles. The question is, how come the sudden rush for silver? It is Saturday, February 23rd, 2019. As I said in the opening of this video, on Thursday, February 21st, 2019, the U.S. Mint has sold out of U.S. silver eagles. And I want to go over the numbers here quickly. In January, the Mint sold 4,017,500 silver eagles. This February 2019, the U.S. Mint sold 2,057,500 silver eagles. They have sold year to date over 6 million silver eagles. That is the most since 2017. And what's interesting is on Thursday, February 21st, they sold 775,000 coins in that one day. And again, they are officially sold out right now at the moment. So why are people rushing to silver right now? I don't believe it's because they're pretty shiny coins and people just want to have them. I think that this is another warning sign. I think we need to pay close attention to this. People, I believe, are rushing to silver. I haven't seen the gold stats yet, but right now we're talking about silver. People are rushing to silver. And I must say this, I've had people write to me in the comments, I've had people Facebook me, people that were out actually today, and they said they went out to buy silver. The places they were buying at were selling it fast. And there were people in there buying massive amounts of silver. Tubes, multiple tubes of silver, of eagles, different years, people buying rounds, whatever they could get their hands on. But some of these silver dealers in the local areas of people that have written to me said they are busy and inventory is very low and some people cannot even get it. So that is what I'm hearing. Please comment below. Tell me what your experience is right now, what you're seeing maybe at your coin stores, what you're seeing online. Just what your experience is right now with the current climate of things happening. But let's get back and talk to why we're seeing this demand all of a sudden for silver. I believe people are not liking what they're seeing. I believe that people see uncertain times ahead and they see huge economic problems coming to America. In fact, most people right now, I believe, are starting to experience economic problems. And I think a lot of people clearly are losing trust in the system, and I think they're losing trust in the US dollar, as I think a lot of countries are unloading US dollars and trying to detach from US dollars. And we're going to see more US dollars coming back to America. And as we see more US dollars floating here in this economy, we're going to see less buying power with the US dollar. And you got to ask yourself, you know, when we compare paper to silver, there is no paper currency that has stood the test of time. Silver has been around for 5,000 years. There is no piece of paper that has lasted as long as this piece of metal right here. This is God's money. It has been here since the beginning of time. It is going to be here long after you're gone. So I think people are starting to realize that things are getting very shaky with the economy. I think people are realizing that a piece of paper that is backed by nothing, that is devaluing every day, and that is on borrowed time, that people are coming to the point of understanding that they better take that monopoly money and they better ensure their future, their safety, and their wealth by acquiring hard assets like the two most undervalued assets in the entire world, gold and silver. And probably the most undervalued asset in the entire world is going to be silver. I want to briefly just bring something up. About an hour ago, before I was making this video, some douchebag commented below that Let me see if I can pull this up really quick in the comments. Using gold and silver as a cover to promote guns. Thanks, but no thanks. That comment came in about an hour ago. And just to let you know, I'm carrying right now because I'm going out to dinner, and I am carrying this, and I'll be going out to dinner with this. And yes, this gun is loaded. This is a Glock 17. I carry this gun every day. And if you're a douchebag who's watching a channel regarding precious metals like gold and silver, and if you're actually buying gold and silver and acquiring precious metals and you don't have a gun, you are brainless. I promote guns on this channel all the time. I promote buying guns, training with guns, buying ammunition. If you're going to be acquiring precious metals and you don't own a firearm to protect it, it is worthless, because some thug with a firearm is going to come to your house and take your stuff. He is going to come to your house, take your food, your water, your gold, your silver, probably your wife or your girlfriend or your kids. So it just blows my mind that there are douchebags that can comment like, I'm going to sucker somebody in with some gold and silver so I can promote guns. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really are worried about what is happening in this country and the direction we are going in, if you're awake enough to the point where you're buying gold and silver, if you do not own a firearm, you are wasting your time. All this is worthless if you cannot protect it. The number one asset that you should have is a firearm, multiple firearms with a lot of ammunition and a lot of training. So to any douchebag out there who thinks I'm wrong, turn the channel. This isn't for you. I live in the real world. There is evil, there's bad people, there are thugs, there are people that are going to come to your house to take what you have, and they will take your life. So, number one preparation, number one asset, a gun. Let's talk about why people are buying silver. Let's talk about why central banks in countries around the world are hoarding gold. So why this run to precious metals, especially here in 2019? What is happening to trigger this? Well, number one, I read an article on Zero Hedge today, and I'm going to kind of go through that article and kind of paraphrase and make some points from it. But number one, you know, we've heard about this recovery after 2008, and we have never actually had a true recovery after the 2008 crash. And people will sit here and I see comments now and then that, you know, we've been talking about this for 10 years and it's never going to happen. It's already happened. It happened in 2008. It's never been fixed. Nothing has been corrected. The whole thing has just been jacked up on printed money and low interest rates. Okay, we've been living in an illusion, and this is why we're starting to see more of a run to the metals, because people are aware of that. Countries are aware of that. Central banks are using it as leverage because they know what is coming around the corner. And if you don't wake up to what is going to happen here, you are going to get wiped out. You need to be protecting yourself. The Fed kept telling us that things are good, the economy is strong. GDP, ladies and gentlemen, is a fallacy. What we are producing is more spending and more debt here in the United States of America. Employment, let's talk about employment. We keep hearing about employment. I think it has improved, no doubt about it. I think, like I said in my last video, I think unemployment is probably closer to 10%, but it was over 20% a couple years ago, if we really want to look at the numbers. But I think it's improved. But let's dig a little deeper. It's grossly misrepresented as the government ignores 95 million people of working age who are no longer counted by the Bureau of Labor. So again, just like all this, these numbers are very, very manipulated. People have been removed from the rolls. They don't count any longer. The employment numbers don't take into account the quality of jobs being created, or the quality of jobs that have been lost. And that's a very good point in the article. Part-time and low-wage jobs do not boost the economy, and they do not help support families to survive. It's not helping people or families to buy houses. That's why people are living paycheck to paycheck. That's why people have no money saved up, because we're seeing more lower quality jobs that have taken the place of higher quality jobs that we had here 10 and 20 years ago. So as we have this imaginary recovery, it's all based on low wage and part-time jobs and lower quality jobs. We look at retail sales. We had the worst retail sales in our last December 2018, the worst since 2009. We look at consumer debt going through the roof. New debt is being taken on to pay the old debt. People have dug a hole that they cannot get out of. Just like the United States of America, we're taking on debt to try and pay down the old debt, and we're just getting deeper into debt. This is just a cycle that this country and households in America cannot get out of. This is expanding more personal credit. This is bad for retail, and it's the end game for many people out there. And if you're listening to this video right now and you're in this situation, you've got to really try and correct your spending habits. You may have to work extra hours. You may have to cut out some Starbucks. You may have to cut out going out to lunch every day, make your own lunch. You have to make sacrifices to cut the debt down. People complain, I can't buy silver, I don't have any money. Stop going to Starbucks 5 days a week. Stop going to lunch every day. Make your own lunch. Stop going out to dinner every weekend. You have to make sacrifices in order to make preparations for what is coming. Small business loans have plunged in the last few months. We were down 9.7% with business loans, small business loans, this last December 2018. And they've been going down for the last few months. And this is a bad sign for the economy. Small business is the backbone of America. And this is really, really not a positive sign. But we've been reading about this on a daily basis. You know, we look at what's happening. We look at the forecast. We look at the fourth quarter earnings with all these corporations, Christmas sales, what have you. And it just seems to drive these markets to go even higher. So bad news is actually good news in the stock market right now. The fundamentals have completely disappeared. The system we're living in right now is on life support, and it is being kept alive on two things. It's being kept alive by the Federal Reserve stimulus and by low interest rates. Without this manipulation, we would be spiraling out of control. And at some point we are going to be, because you can only kick the can down the road so far before this comes to an end. Anyone telling you that the housing market is in good shape is lying to you. Or if anybody is telling you that buying a house right now today is a great investment, they're either lying to you or they are a real estate agent, one or the other. This would be, in my opinion, the worst time to buy real estate since the crash. So anybody telling you that it's a great time to get in these markets, if you're watching these reality shows regarding real estate, stay away. Anybody promoting to get into real estate right now is lying to you or trying to make money from you. This would be, in my opinion only, I'm not a financial planner, but this would be the worst possible time to be getting into real estate. Real estate sales were down in December 2018, 10.3%. And I think this is just the beginning. You ain't seen nothing yet. This reminds me so much of 2007. It's not even funny. Without lower rates, corporate buyers are out. So who's left? The normal Joe Blow buyer is left, but he has no credit and no capital. So it is going to be very, very hard to move this inventory because, again, the big corporate buyers are out because credit is not cheap any longer. So the average Joe Blow, he's probably going to try to get into this market and literally bankrupt himself to buy a house at the worst possible time. The banks, the investment companies, they're getting out and they're suckering the Joe Blow to get in, just like they're suckering the Joe Blow to get in the stock market. All these markets, the real estate market, the stock market, these are all overvalued markets. And in my opinion, you need to be getting out, not getting in. There will be a time to get into these markets, but right now, in my opinion, this reminds me of 2007. This is the time to get out, wait on the sidelines with some cash, be stacking assets. Imagine the buying power that when this thing comes tumbling down, what an ounce of gold or what an ounce of silver is going to buy when all these other assets come crashing down, when the two most undervalued assets go skyrocketing to the moon, the buying power you're going to have is going to be enormous. Gold and silver is not going to make a big move until things come crashing down. When we see a major crash in America, the people who are holding the real money, gold and silver, are going to be the true winners here. And remember, gold and silver has never been worth zero. It will never be worth zero. Nothing else can make that promise. But the people holding real money are going to be the people who are going to flourish at the worst of times. I could probably go on for another hour, but I'm not going to bore you with specifics. I've got to go out to eat and get some food. I'm starving. It's Saturday night. So I'm not going to bore you with specifics, but I want you to ponder this before I go. And please comment below. And ponder this for just a moment. And please tell me what you think. This is a what if. Think about this for a minute. What if the Fed continues dumping the balance sheet? What if they don't ease off? What if they continue dumping the balance sheet? That's what if number one. What if number two is, what if the Fed raises rates twice in 2019 like they originally planned? Now, we all know that they've been very dovish, but since we have this so-called strong economy, and since I believe the Fed is the enemy of America, what if the Fed continues dumping its balance sheet, and what if the Fed raises rates not once, but twice in 2019? Remember, the central bank is deliberately creating conditions for a historic crisis in America. The Federal Reserve, the central bank, they are going to do you no favors. And this is why you must be your own central bank. This is why you must look out for yourself. This is why you must preserve and ensure your wealth, your future, and your life. So don't be some douchebag who doesn't have one of these when he's stacking gold and silver. Don't be one of these people who is not acquiring precious assets like gold and silver, like food and water, like having an open mind to what is coming. Not being gullible and believing everything the people on Wall Street are telling you, what the central banks are telling you, what the government is telling you. Don't be one of these people. Don't be one of the masses. They're going to lose. They're going to take you right off the cliff. Be your own central bank. Make sure you have your own security. Rely on nobody but yourself. Have a phenomenal weekend. God bless America. God bless you guys. Please subscribe. Talk to you later.